So we have our sleeve opening, and I'm using 16-inch circular needles. We are going to need to pick up 6 stitches in between here and here. We need to do it differently. Usually when you are going to pick up stitches, you go through your stitch. We'll just go through that one. And then you bring your yarn and you pick it up like that. And then you pick up this one. That's what you normally do to pick up stitches. But we're not going to do it that way, because then we get like an extra knitting round and we don't want that. I'm going to pick this one up. This will be my first one. So 1, 2, 3. Grab your stitch marker and place it there. And then 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. For our first round is just knit. We're going to add our skein. Now we're going to attach our yarn and knit our first 2 stitches together. Because we need an even number of stitches, we need to knit our first 2 stitches together. And then we knit all the way to the end. All right, and then you just start with the pattern where you slip your first stitch purlwise, and then you're going to purl your next stitch. Slip and then purl. Slip and purl. And if you're not sure which one, what I like to do is, let's say this is my first one. I kind of come back here and I'm like, okay, well, this one is a slip, so I know I'm going to purl that. Purl, slip, purl, slip, purl, slip. So I know, oh, I'm supposed to slip my first one. Because that's the pattern. We switch off every other of that round. They go back and forth so that we can get the wave on the different rounds. All right, and so you're just going to keep doing that until we get to our first decrease round, which is round 15. Now that we've reached our round 15, we are going to do our first increase round, and they're all the same. You knit 2 together, and then you knit all the way till your last 2 stitches, and then you're going to slip, slip, knit those. After you're done with your decrease round, then you're going to continue in the pattern for 13 rounds, and then you're going to decrease again, a total of 10 times, or repeat this round 9 times. Let me show you slip, slip, knit. Of our last 2 stitches, we slip our first one as if to knit, slip our second one as if to knit, go from the back to the front, bring your yarn around, and there you go. So we decrease 2 times, 2 stitches, and now we just continue in the pattern. When I try to figure out what I do for my first stitch on here, this was a slip, so this time it'll be a purl. So I purl, slip, purl, slip, purl, slip. So I'm going to start with a slip. And then you purl our next one. And purl. Alright, so you're going to do 13 more rounds and do your decrease rounds. Yay, our sleeve is done. I've done 150 rows or rounds. And now it's time to do the ribbing. So we need to change to our smaller size needles, just like we did for the body. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to stay in the round with my 16-inch. It might just be too small. What you do is you either get double pointed needles or you get a larger cable that you can do the magic loop method. If you need to know how to do magic loop method, click on the link under the video and I'll have a link to my magic loop method video. So this video is not super long for people who don't need to know that. And I have my smaller size needles already on my left. And then I'm going to knit them off with my smaller size needle on my right. So this is the start of our round. If the start of your round is a slip, then you're going to knit. So we're going to do knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. But if for some reason, which is fine, you are beginning with a purl for your first stitch, then you're just going to purl one, knit one. It will not make a difference. But in case that happens to you, now you know what to do. And so yeah, I'm just going to transfer my stitches onto this larger cable. We're going to knit one, bring our yarn in the front, and we will purl one. Knit one, and purl one, just like the body. So we did 9 rounds of the ribbing on our sleeve, and we do the same thing that we did with our other ribbing. If you would like to use a bigger needle while you bind off so that it's not too tight, you can do that. Just like one size or 2 sizes bigger, or just knit a little loose. That's what I'm going to do for the sleeves. So you just pull your yarn out enough to weave in the ends and cut it and then pull the yarn out. And there's your sleeve. Make another one. We have finished our sleeves. It looks so good. Now we are going to pick up stitches all the way around the neck to make a collar. I like to start in the back, just in the middle. Some people like to do it like where an edge is. Start whichever place you like to start. And I go through the top 2 stitches and get your yarn. And that's your first one. Now for our second one, get your tail out of the way. There's your second one. I'm going to knit 2 and skip 1, or else the neck, it'll be way too loose. So we're going to knit 2 and skip 1. So we did knit 2, skip 1, knit 1, knit 2, skip 1, and then we do it again. And that's how you pick up stitches for our neck. Go all the way around and make sure that you have an even number of stitches. I am needing to do, the knit, knit, skip, and I only have room to do knit, knit because my first stitch is on the next one, and that's fine. It'll be just fine if we don't have the skip in there. If that happens to you, And do not worry, it happened to me. And because we did the knit, knit, skip, we know that we have pairs, right? So we know that we have an even amount of stitches for knit 1, purl 1 ribbon, which is great. Let me just show you. This is what it looks like. I might need to use my smaller cable. And we just start with our knit 1 and purl 1 rib. And if you're doing continental, bring your yarn over here. Do knit 1, bring your yarn in the front, purl 1, knit 1, yarn in the front, bring it down, purl 1. When you bind off, you knit 2 stitches so that you have 2 stitches on your right hand needle. Pick up your first one and slide it off. And then you knit another one. Pick it up, take it off. And here's your last one. And you pull your yarn out enough to weave in, cut it, slide it off. Look! It looks so good. You will need to weave in your ends, and I wanted to show you specifically where your sleeve is, where like your armpit will be. You for sure want to just make that extra strong per se. So you're going to want to just basically sew just so that it doesn't wear out. Do you see how like mine has, you know, this hole right here and then this one right here? I put my hand in the underneath it like that. And honestly, yeah, you just want to go to the other side. And then you're going to want to come back and just pick up some stitches so that it closes nice, just like that. And I would do more just so that it stays tight and secure. You don't want to mess up the pattern that you see on the right side. Yeah, and if you want to, just go through like where your sleeve starts, just for more protection. Until I get to that other hole and I fix that hole. You just cut it. Now for your sleeves, I already did it, and this is where it was. And this is what it looks like. You can't even tell where the beginning and end of the round is. And I just went and I stayed at the edge, just went through these stitches, and then I came back. And then when you're done, you just cut your remaining thread. Let me show you what it looks like on the right side. There we go.